to start. I have pressed the record button, so thank you all for being here today, and happy Friday. It's kind of a mild weather out there today, so I'm kind of excited to take a walk this afternoon with Heart of Ellsworth's we have a design committee that is sort of in charge of creating our beautification programming in downtown. So the flowers on Main Street, the holiday lights on Main Street, and all sorts of other beautification projects that that we've either done in the past or are looking to implement in 2021. So we're doing a walk with about 5 different people this afternoon to kind of do an assessment of the holiday lights and to see sort of how we want to or how we can grow that program in 2021. So if any of you are interested in joining us for a brisk walk, we are going to be meeting at 4:30 in front of the JB Atlantic building. And we'll just be walking around and taking a look at the lights and seeing how we want to grow things. But I'm super excited that the weather is somewhat cooperating. It's pretty mild out there, so. Thank you all for joining today. We do have a couple of items on sort of an informal list. Like I said, I did create some polling activities for us, but I wanted to open the floor now for any sort of outside sharing of news or comments or ideas or anything at all that folks wanted to share. Hey, Betsy.
Hey, hi, folks. I'm going to put into the chat, just there, a link to a Facebook event that Anchor Space Bar Harbor is creating. It's a one-day event tomorrow, and she's doing a replica of it the following day on Sunday in Potsdam, which is the second location of her Anchor Space co-working space. Nicole Ouellette is who I'm talking about. She's put together something called the MDI Shopping Network. And the idea is for $10, a business can get a 15-minute time slot, showcase one product or service that they're going to sell, and have a little bit more of an interview opportunity to explain to the public about their business. And I would encourage everyone to at least tune in to a little bit of it. It will be running from 10 to 4 tomorrow on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and just see the formatting of it. And it's probably too late to sign up just now. She's probably closed closed it for this particular event just now, but this is a neat idea. It's kind of like QVC. It's a shopping network format. She can't use those words, of course, but shopping network outline. So if that's something of interest, she's certainly a resource, or maybe we can recreate it for Ellsworth at some point. So there we have it.
Betsy, is this something that is just open? Do you think it's just for Bar Harbor as of now? Like she's trying to consolidate her effort, or?
As I said, just for this particular event tomorrow, yep. And I just was speaking with her today about this. So this is fairly current information. She's closed off how many businesses would come in for this particular event tomorrow. Mm-hmm. However, this is a one-time, one-off to see running it up the flagpole kind of thing. So if it were to be, if it were to happen again, she'd probably have more of an idea about the parameters about how to put it together, and could be consulted if we want to do something for specifically Ellsworth. I don't know who is signing up. It's going to be a surprise tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tune in if you can, just to see the format, if nothing else.
Cool. Thank you, Betsy, for sharing. Yeah, and the event link is over there in the chat. So thanks. Are there any other announcements or things that people want to share? Yeah, Jared, go ahead.
Well, hello, Heart of Ellsworth, Kara and company. I'm Jared Gillette, Hancock County Planning Commission. Some of you remember me from other meetings. We are organizing our annual household hazardous waste and universal waste collection date. It's slated to be in August. We haven't got a specific day yet. The contractor who does it is going to be getting back to me. But another thing that I talked about last time that we're working on is a USDA technical assistance and teaching grant to help with, solid waste stream reduction. And so, a lot of, this does allow me to work with nonprofit organizations that support and work with local businesses that do have issues and needs concerning solid waste and wanting to find cost savings measures, to not spend so much money on, things they throw out, and find ways as well to, help the environment. So, if there's any businesses, any, residents that, are interested in reaching out to me to talk about their issues around solid waste management, certainly feel free to contact me. I'll put HCPC's contact in the chat feature. But this is definitely a program that's not at all, there's no restrictions on, supporting businesses that, have waste management concerns and trying to find solutions. It's really a win-win for, the environment and also the green economy. So it's coming up as well too, if you're just a local resident of Hancock County. We've got solid waste or household hazardous waste and universal waste collection coming up in August, as well as, really trying to reboot and energize and get a large composting culture going, especially to support the new composting facilities in Hancock County. So, please feel free to reach out to me. As well, if you need any blue bins, HCPC has got a ton of blue bins that I'd love to get out of my garage, as well as compost things that need to get out of my office building. So feel free to contact me for any of those as well. But aside from that, if there's anything else in the HCPC service policies that you'd like to talk to me about, feel free. So that's it.
Are there any questions for Jared? If I'm not seeing any, I have a question that pertains to what you just put up. Would there be the possibility of sort of taking a scan of our downtown businesses, Jared, and finding out like what their needs are and how we could sort of as a, as collaborating organizations work together to help them collectively get what it is that they need, taking out the trash, so to speak?
Yeah, I think that actually would be a good place to start, and having a more solid understanding of what the needs and that a needs assessment would be definitely helpful in the grant writing language. But then too, it helps us to deliver a more focused product and more focused approach to helping them solve those issues. And so and that's where it's your organization is a good partner in this, in that you've got that connection with businesses downtown. And when I talk about solid waste management, and it could be anything from composting, other types of recyclables that because of market fluctuations are harder, if not nearly impossible, to get rid of, so to speak. And then just also thinking about the logistics. One part of in the past, what HCPC was able to do with this grant was to actually completely redesign for better efficiency one of our member communities' transfer stations. And so, I'm a little annoyed that you didn't invite the resident landscape architect to go on this walk today.
Sorry. You're invited now.
Too late, I'm in Calais.
Oh, sorry.
I went home for the weekend. But it allows HCPC to really dive into our technical abilities to assist municipalities, member communities with efficiency needs, and trying to just really help help the environment, but also help the economy. It's a win-win sort of scenario, I think, as well. And that's what's really great about this grant too, is that it allows us to, I'm a former science teacher, and so I'm really excited that they really expect you to go out and go into the schools and talk about solid waste management, composting, and it's, as a former teacher, any chance I get to go in and cause classroom management issues for other teachers and then peace out. Uh, oh yeah. So no, there's a really multifaceted grant that has a lot of potential for just raising the awareness and also really building a culture around how do we get things that don't decompose out of our solid waste stream, and also too, how do we protect our local watersheds and our local soils from the unfortunate infiltration that does happen from illegal dumping. um, Unfortunately, there are at times, it's not legit. I mean, legitimate, but industrial incidents that do occur, which lead to brownfield sites that get into our environment. And this is really about trying to protect our drinking water, protect our soils, and ensure that we have an efficient and economical approach to getting rid of solid waste and not putting things that could easily just add fertilizer to the soil into a plastic bag and sending it to PERC to be burnt, or to Woodstock, New Brunswick to be rammed into the ground, wherever it goes. So I'm really excited about this. I never thought that garbage could be this much fun, but it really is. I don't want to take up any more time, but please feel free to reach out to me. If you are a business owner that does have questions about some options, or if you're a community group that would just like to share ideas on how you effectively engage with either underserved or underrepresented members of the community, that this is garbage is expensive, and if we can find ways to save people money, I think that's also important. So yeah, please feel free. And if you just want to like call up and say, hey, Jared, nice hairdo today. I can see you're working from home. That's cool too. So I'm going to mute myself now.
Jared, do you have, Tom Beal has asked, Jared, do you have a mailing list for announcements? So like a newsletter or something?
Right. So most of the announcements that I send out, I have what's called an all towns list, where I send it to either a town manager, a town clerk, or somebody who's in the economic development department for, towns, cities, villages in Hancock County. But what I do need to do is actually update HCPC's website. And if you share with me your email, I can just put you on the household hazardous waste mailing list, and then you will get those announcements. I try not to send out too many of the MailChimp and SurveyMonkey type emails, because sometimes people don't look at them. So I try to send as much direct emails as possible. And so I have in my Outlook, I've got like environmental, comprehensive, transportation, household has like all these very long lists. So I'm going to add you, Tom at Mac Revival, to the household hazardous waste list, if that's okay. But also please do, check back on HCPC's website. Our news node, it does not work. We're so technologically behind. We're still using Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
And
Jared, one thing I'm thinking is that maybe the best next step is, I mean, these guys are all like small business owners and or work for really small businesses and super tapped on a day-to-day basis. So one thing I'm thinking is that maybe you and I should get together, create a survey that is specifically targeted to these downtown businesses about this solid waste and sort of recyclable sort of framework, so we can find out what their needs are. We make a survey that's super quick for them to answer, lots of multiple choice and all that sort of stuff. And then we can take that information and we can do something with it. And that can also have some contact information in there for them, for you, and more about the Hancock County Planning Commission,
Okay, that's great. That's a very good, like, direct to the point. And yes, if our website, for anybody who does look at it, it's like cool circa 2002. We're pretty not hip with, content management. We try, but we have some capacity issues with regards to our digital presence. So what I'll do is I'll, send me your emails. I will include you, and then also Kara and I will do what Kara had said. I need more coffee. Okay, I'm just gonna mute myself
Thank you,
and
Jared.
thank you.
Thank you. No, I think that's great. I think, having clear asks out of the business owners, that'll take them, a minute or two, maybe 5 at the most of kind of, answering some survey questions that particularly pertain. One thing I can say is that a few years ago, we had a sort of a cardboard recyclable trailer that was in the back municipal parking lot. Kelly Cochran's shaking her head. She remembers it well, as do I. And Dale Hamilton, I think Dale Hamilton probably remembers it as well. I think someone was sleeping in it for a little while, so it got taken away. But one of Heart of Ellsworth's projects that actually, I believe Christy actually would know the history to this as well, but I believe that that project came out of the Downtown Merchants Association, if I'm remembering correctly. Kelly's shaking her head. And that's one thing that we would love to see come back. However, we want to know data-wise if that truly is a need still for downtown businesses. I would imagine that everybody has stuff shipped to them. So I would imagine that cardboard recycle, or whatever recycle means these days, is still an issue for folks. But we want to be solving problems that are problems, not just doing something because it's easy to do or because we think it's needed. So so that might be a great way, and we can certainly work on that in the new year. Jared, thanks for coming to us with the opportunity. I think that it's a great one. So are there any other updates from anyone? Not to put anyone on the spot, but Sarah, I wanted to see if you could, because we have a couple of new people on here that weren't on the last call, if you could quickly update and sort of talk about the tobacco grant. And if we were able to sort of outline that a little bit to some folks that are on this call, that that's available to them.
Sure, I'd be happy to talk about that. So if any of you are here in November, I talked about some mini grants we have available at Healthy Acadia for tobacco policy work. So we work with businesses as well as lots of other organizations, schools, healthcare providers, multi-unit housing, kind of pretty much anything you could think of fits into one of the categories that we work with. And so right now we have some mini grant funding available to assist people in working on tobacco-free policies. So the money basically can be used for your kind of like staff time working on the policy, as well as if you want signage for your site once you pass a policy, kind of putting that up. If you have staff you need to kind of talk to about the policy and any changes that are happening, as well as anything else, you might be doing to support the implementation of this policy. Those are usually the standard things that often get included. And we do have free signage available for anyone that passes a model policy, but there is also the option to create custom signage if, maybe you already have other signage on the property and you want it to look kind of cohesive with that, or, for whatever reason you might want custom signage. That's also a possibility. So we try to make the process pretty easy. We have lots of templates with policy language kind of ready to go that you can either adopt as is or modify to include, if there's something specific about your business that you wanted to include in the policy, then we're happy to work with you to kind of modify the language for that. So there's 3 different levels for work sites. We have 3 different levels of policy. They're called the good, better, and best levels. So increasingly more comprehensive. I'm happy to share those with anyone who is interested. So those are just helpful as a starting point. If you already have a tobacco policy in place that you want to update, you can also apply for the mini grant, and we're happy to help you with incorporating what would be required to be considered model policy. So basically like the best practices for a tobacco policy. So we can work with your existing policy to update the language as well, or you could just use one of the templates, whatever would be the best for you. I think if there are any other important points. We have, if you've seen the application, the deadline on it says December 15th, but we are going to roll right into another round of mini grants. So you can basically disregard that deadline. That's not, we can start working with you now, even if you're not going to be ready to apply until January or something like that. So we would be happy to work with any and all of you, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I will put my email in the chat as well.
And I put it in the chat, but I just want to add it. The HCPC historically, they've done this grant, I believe, because I've seen the wording from, it seems like it's verbatim from Healthy Acadia into our human resources policy, as well as we have signs. So I really recommend, anybody else consider doing it for your organization. It was cool. So I've still got the signs up.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
You're muted, Kara.
It's probably better. Sarah, thank you. And if you do have some sort of direct link to the website of where the this program lives on the Healthy Acadia website, if you have the ability to stick that in the chat too, then sometimes people open it up and leave it on their desktop, and then when they get to it, it's like a reminder.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I'll do that right now. Thanks
Perfect.
for the reminder, Kara.
No, thank you so much, Sarah, for presenting in month 2 about that.
Yeah, and I'll just offer to, the mini grant funding isn't something that we always have, but we always work with anyone who wants to update their tobacco policy. So the mini grant is a great opportunity to do it because you can get some money for it and to support the implementation of it. But even if we don't have the mini grants, we are always available and happy to work with anyone who wants to update their policy. And we also have lots of materials too about, the Maine Quit link, which is the quit line in Maine, and lots of other resources like educational info about tobacco use. So
Can I ask one question? And I'm sure somebody asked this on the last meeting, but I probably just forgot. Our policy is definitely pre-Juul, pre-vape pen, pre all these other digital. I didn't even know we had digital cigarettes or whatever they are, e-cigarettes. Not really clear what those even are. Does it include stuff that relates to, not the old, back in the day when Kara and I could just go into the place and put in a quarter and get a pack of mobs out of the vending machine, the whole different world that exists there now?
Yeah, so that is one of the big reasons why we are working with people to update their policy. So Jared, if you want to get in touch, we can probably work on updating your policy if you want. Yes, so we do include all, vaping devices. We often refer to them as ENDS, which stands for Electronic Nicotine Delivery Systems, which is kind of our all-encompassing term for vape pens, e-cigarettes, whatever, any name, Juul, and it's all kind of encompassed under that umbrella term of ENDS. So we do include that in our policies. I also forgot to mention, we are able to help people include marijuana smoke in their policies as well. If that's something you're interested, it's not a requirement, but if that's something people want to do, we do, have language that we can help you include surrounding that. And we have signs that have the marijuana leaf and that don't. So both of those are options as well. And we have lots of educational information about e-cigarettes also. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know, and I'd be happy to pass along some things.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Moving on, another Healthy Acadia, City of Ellsworth, Chamber of Commerce, and Heart of Ellsworth initiative that's happening right now. Most of you probably have been subject to the PSAs. and the Facebook advertisements was spearheaded by Sonia, who is on the call today, also from Healthy Acadia. And I'm just going to give Sonia a minute or two to sort of bring us up to speed where things are, if she has anything she'd like to say.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, a lot of what we're doing right now is just supporting safe COVID celebrations for the holidays, and just making sure we're talking to folks about how to shop safely locally. And then there are some great things happening downtown on Thursday nights, the Christmas pickle, and maybe you might be able to talk a little bit more about that, Cara. And then on Saturday, this Saturday, we're having, Fogtown is having an outdoor market, a holiday market. So please come. It's going to be really, really nice. I think there's maybe 7 vendors that will be there, artisans and local shops. So check that out. And yeah, so a lot of what we've been doing is just talking about how do we shop safely when we're shopping locally? Like, what does that look like? You know, making the phone call, finding out how our businesses are set up. Do they do pickup? Can we shop online? That kind of thing. And then when we go into the store, how do we do that safely? So yeah, and then on the other end of my responsibilities with the business outreach, we still have disposable, individually wrapped masks. So if you want any, please let me know. And we also still have some gel sanitizer as well. So we'd love to be able to support you with those. So just let me know.
Sonia, can you put your email in the chat and just maybe just say masks, sanitizer needs or something like that, just so that everybody can quickly pull that if they want to get in touch with you. Thank you for that reminder. I'd sort of forgotten about all the PPE in a way. So thank you. Does anyone else have any announcements, any sales, events, anything that's happening in downtown, or just recent bits of good news? Tom?
Yeah, I want to follow up on your the thing you sent around about the Maine Broadband Coalition and getting doing a survey for your speed tests. I'm going to champion this with all my customers and see if I can get some other media attention on it. I have, like, when I try to do remote sessions with my customers and their connection drops multiple times, it tells me their broadband isn't very good. And I want to try and get that improved as much as possible for as many people as possible. The test is not just for people who have poor internet service. It's also for people who have no good broadband service. So it's really important that everybody, if you know of somebody who has really awful or can't really get good broadband service, they can just even report that they can't get service at all on the website. And I'm going to post this to the chat, and I will also post the link to the chat so that everybody, so that people, oh, I gotta send it to everybody here. Hold on a second. There's the link, and here's the message that Cara sent out. Because all of that bond money that was approved by the state during the last primary election, we want to make sure it gets spent well and that people get service where if they don't have it. So feel free to ask me questions about it. I'm making sure that I'm going to send it off to every customer who comes in the door.
Tom, that's awesome. Maybe Ellsworth will be the leading municipality that that gets many responses. Wouldn't that be super cool if that happens? So thank you for outlining too that, you know, all of the different ways that helps. It's so much better to do that in person. Email is hard to convey that.
And just as an addition, if you go to that site and click on the link, you can actually click on the results and you'll see a map for the entire state of what the results have been of the survey so far in terms of how things are lit up with who's got good service and who doesn't.
All right. Thank you for following up on that. That was awesome. It's super quick, Tom, right? It takes like what, 20 seconds to do it?
Yeah, they do want to know your address so that they can put you on the map. They're also going to ask you to say how much you're paying for the service that you're getting.
Excellent. Awesome. Thanks, Tom. Dale, are there any updates from the city?
Just nothing that's definitive. We're still in the recruitment phase for the city manager, so no clear updates that have yet. At one of the big items that we're working on, Councilor Miller, who is a pharmacist, will present, and I'll be reaching out to Northern Light, hopefully to have a representative at the council meeting on the 21st to do a presentation on the vaccine, to try to provide some education to the community of what that entails. And Councilor Miller does a really nice job of talking about it from that, how it works in the body, so to help answer those questions. And hopefully Northern Light will help to educate everybody about the rollout of the vaccine. And it's going to go into the late spring, early summer. So it will be important for everybody to really understand what this means. And it will be rolling out as early as next week. So I think it'll be helpful to have that information out there.
Dale, is there a way, and this may be creating more work, but I feel like this is kind of an amazing resource. Is there a way that possibly maybe an event on Facebook could be created to highlight the fact that this is happening? Because I feel like a lot of people would love to tune in for some real solid, true information about this. And I think that would reach a different demographic than maybe tunes into the regular monthly meeting and council meeting. And I just think it's a huge valuable resource. I'm so excited that this is happening. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, it literally is just being pulled together now that the vaccine. So, and like I said, I haven't even been able to have contact yet with Northern Light to identify the person yet. So I'm pretty sure that they will want to participate, but I know Councilor Miller will. So I think maybe afterwards, certainly those meetings are recorded. So there may be a way of, I can ask to see if we can maybe just have that posted, cut that section out and then have it posted and available that way.
Yeah, that would be great if you were just to isolate his explanation and maybe that were to be posted online somewhere. That's awesome. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. If there are no other announcements Kelly, yes.
Shameless plug to pick up a copy of the Ellsworth American for the dining. This is our last week full page dining grouping for those who would like to support local dining throughout the next few weeks and months. So,
Kelly, how much is the listing?
it's a full page.
It's a full page.
Full page, and we contacted restaurants. It's a grouping that the Ellsworth American put together.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yep.
So restaurants like Provender are on there, and yep, excellent. And is it in the same format where it sort of suggests that you cut it out of the paper? And
we made the font a little larger this week so that everybody could see it without magnifying glasses. There were so many, and it's so great to see so many local dining. But we just it is the last week, so I realize that many people on this chat support local dining establishments, and having their current hours might be handy.
Excellent. Thank you, Kelly. That's a great update too, and a great resource that the Ellsworth American has put out for our community. So thank you for that. Are there any other updates? Okay, if I'm not seeing any, I'm going to introduce a couple of the polls that I created. The first one is about our Zoom at Noon program, and just sort of looking to find out, frequency of meeting and the way that the meeting is organized. So I will launch the poll. The first question is, how often would you like meetings to be in 2021? The choices are weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And then the second question that is related is, how would you like the meetings to be organized according to industry? So for example, merchants would be one meeting, restaurants would be another meeting, or service-based businesses to meet separate than each other. So that would be sort of kind of what we're looking for to find out, just so that we can increase our engagement and also have things organized in a way that it feels like your time is well used to tune in. So it looks like we've had 50% of you say that you like the concept of it being bi-weekly, 29 monthly. And then it looks like 43% of you would like for the meetings to be organized according to industry. Actually, hold on, let me see if I can, I don't know if this shows. Let me go back. Can you see the results? You cannot, why does it, oh, wait a minute, here. Now, can you see the results? All right, so I'll let you guys look at those for a second. So it looks like most of you are interested in the meeting staying open to all of downtown all at once. It's been quite a question that I've had with quite a few people when talking about this program, and trying to find if like the sector of industry is more useful of people's time. But then the other sort of, you know, train of thought is that it's better to have different businesses being on the call so that everybody is able to kind of take ideas and to go out there with them for a new approach, possibly, maybe. So that looks like, it looks like this one call is still working. So, okay. And I have to tell you folks that I may end up having to do this again, because usually we have about anywhere from 15 to 20 people on the call, but it is holiday time, so people are busier. So we have less engagement today than we usually do. And then I have another poll. Or at least I thought I did. Maybe it's not. There we go. The next poll is about our downtown grants program that we did this year, a new program for us. We're looking to find out if people would like us to continue this program in 2021. And then the second question is, if so, do you plan on submitting a grant application in 2021? All right, so it looks like 100% of you guys think it's a great program, but 71% of you are not going to apply, which may be indicative of like what you do, and that maybe you're not the owner of the business that you're representing, or maybe in fact you're not in a business, you're from a different segment. So, but it does look like that 29% of you are interested in submitting an application. So that's a pretty high number considering the amount of business owners on here. So we'll end that poll, and I think, oh, I have one more poll question. The last poll question is, which of the following has been your largest business hurdle of 2020? And so it is a multiple choice question, and I'll let you read through them so that you folks are able to pick what has been the largest struggle for you. All right, so it looks like 70% of you voted, took the poll. So top ranking of the hurdles of this year were getting customers to feel comfortable. That makes a ton of sense, and I think that these multiple choices were just kind of off the top of my head. I'm sure I should have put a spot for people to type, but if you do have any others, please feel free to put them in the chat. But it also looks like coming in second was the lack of technology, the know-how to sort of implement. So that's good for us to know. And then coming in next was the lack of technology infrastructure tied with getting people in the door. And then also a supply chain issue as well with availability of products. So that's interesting. This information itself really helps us determine sort of what 2021's, I mean, it determines many things, but what it helps us determine is what 2021's grant application focus is going to be. This year it was technology. And in 2021, we were open to thinking about changing that focus, but and I don't know what we could do around having customers feel comfortable. Hopefully that's just an issue in 2020, isolated to this year. But I think the technology is something that is going to be an issue that's here to stay until sort of the world kind of comes into parallels with this new world of Zoom and a lot of things being online and technology driven. So I would say that it seems to me, if we were to just off the cuff make a decision, 2021's grant focus would also be on technology, but you know, time will certainly tell. But are there any comments or questions or thoughts after doing the survey? I do want to call out both Machias Savings Bank, who unfortunately there's not a representative from Machias Savings Bank here, but also Betsy Arnson, who has been instrumental behind the scenes in helping us to sort through a lot of the data and also to submit our final report to Machias Savings Bank. We are already right now out in the community working on finding funding for this program to happen in 2021. And that is probably, I would say, about 50% of the behind the scenes work that gets done to make sure that these programs happen in the following year. So we are working on a funding structure for that on behalf of all of the downtown businesses, and the application process, I would imagine in 2021, there might be a few small changes, but it's largely going to be the same structure as we had last year, which was Google Forms with links and on our website, and also folks largely applying online and emailing with questions or project proposals, kind of making contact with us ahead of actually submitting a proposal, just to sort of check in and to make sure that your project concept is in line with what the jurors will be looking for when deciding which applications are funded. So please feel free to reach out as you have questions or ideas. I'm happy to talk through them with you folks. So. Are there any other sort of weekend happenings or anything? Oh, Sarah, you there?
Hey guys, we may have a little crying in the background, so it's because we're making them brush their teeth. So I just wanted to throw out there, I am doing kind of a little bit of a kids day this Saturday and next Saturday. And the focus is, I may not be able to do this. The focus is so that the kiddos can hang out with me and do a craft. We've got some ornaments and some stuff to make cards. And we have a COVID-friendly space for the kiddos. They'll all be separated. And the thought is that the kiddos can come here. The cost is $10. They will get to make a gift to give someone special, and parents, guardians, grandparents, their special grown-up can shop on Main Street while they do a craft with me and Marguerite. And so we're sold out for this Saturday, which is very exciting. And we have 6 spaces for next Saturday. So we are doing them in 30 minute spans of time, and then closing the store, cleaning for 15 minutes, and then opening back up. It is a private event, so it's per family. We're not mixing groups, just because we've had a lot of issues with kiddos down here. It's been very, very, very difficult with keeping moms and grandparents feeling comfortable. And that has equated to such a loss of business that I probably won't be able to stay open. So one of the things that we're trying to do is events like this instead, because shopping with grandparents and kiddos is not happening. So I would love to have any help. Marguerite, please wait, sweetie. I would love to have any help with promoting. I only have 6 spots left for Saturday, which is exciting, but, and it's not a lot. It's only $10 per kiddo. But I take any help I could get spreading the word, and we'll send people to your business to shop while I've got your kiddos.
Sarah, I'll go in and share the event on our Facebook page. It was on my list of things to do yesterday and didn't happen. So we will definitely share the event of next weekend on our Facebook page for you. All right. Also, I just wanted to say that Chris Rector from Angus King's office has joined us. His computer does not allow, he doesn't have a camera, but I wanted to welcome him and just to let you folks all know that he's here. And Chris, are you able to give us a little update? I don't know if you have the, oops. Oh, he can only listen. Okay, so okay, so Chris Rector's here. So if you have anything from statewide, whether it be questions or, oh, Chris.
Can you hear me now? Hey,
Yeah,
there we go.
Welcome.
Sorry about that. I've got my phone going and my computer. I can see you all, but I can't. You can't hear me when I'm on that, so I'm using my phone. I'm sorry about that. I can tell you that the entire Maine delegation is working very hard trying to get some sort of relief package, because I think we know that every small business in the state is just struggling. And I don't know what will come of that. Senator King and Senator Collins were at the forefront of the package that was proposed, and I was hoping we maybe would have some news by now, but we don't. Things seem to be, there's a lot of sand in the gears down there, I'm afraid, in DC, and so things aren't going as well as we had hoped. But stay tuned. You all probably know as much as I do from what's on the news and what's coming out that way. I hope the Christmas season, I'm sorry to hear about things not going well with the children's store, but I hope things are going well with others. And I think better times are going to be coming. It's a question of how much our ability to hang on is from now through the worst of this, and until we get to a place where people are more comfortable being out and about. But thanks for having me here, and happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Chris, for being on and doing your due diligence every month to join us. It's a huge feather in our cap to have someone from a statewide level be able to join, and so thank you.
Darren, if I may.
Yeah, please, Darren, go ahead.
If Chris is still on, I have a question for him. Chris, thanks for joining us. This is Darren, owner of Provender Kitchen and Bar here in Ellsworth. When you say relief package, are you talking about PPP loan? Or has there been any talk about a second one?
Yes, there is talk about a second one, and that's among the most likely pieces there that have been discussed. So some new PPP relief, not exactly sure what form it'll take. I know there were a variety of challenges the last time around. We're hoping that funds will get out more quickly, perhaps this time, that some of the nuanced challenges of the way things were administered and some of the tax issues that folks were concerned about and so on will be able to be addressed in this next proposal. But it's what it's going to be. I can't say because I don't know, because I don't think anybody knows.
Right,
There've been lots and lots of discussion.
Right. So no real timeline on it.
Well, it's everyone's hope to have something done before they break for the holidays. I mean, it was everyone's hope, frankly, last Friday to have something done by Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and that hasn't happened. And I know the discussions are going on. A couple of my colleagues are working on specific policy areas where there's money that will be distributed, and Senator Collins' office is actually leading the charge on PPP as they did last time. So.
Well, no, that's really great to hear, because I believe that, you know, hospitality and small business is in the same predicament we are in as we were in March. So I feel it's very important to push that through.
And that's part of the reason I'm here. I can share that message, and always do, and frankly have regularly with Senator King. So I can tell you the delegation is acutely aware of the challenges that Maine is facing, and especially businesses related to tourism, hospitality, and retail traffic, because it's just such a challenging time. So I think 300 billion was the number that they were talking about in the most recent PPP proposal, but I don't know if that's going to move forward or exactly what will be what that'll entail.
Great info. Thank you for your time. And you know, if you could if you hear anything relate to Kara, so she could pass on the info, that would be amazing.
As soon as there is some proposal, I'm hoping that we'll have bullet points of what that is, and I will make sure that Kara gets that.
Great, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris, again, for taking time out of your day to directly update business owners and local officials here in Ellsworth. It means a lot to have someone, again, from the statewide level come on to these calls. I know that they're not at a great time of day for everybody, but you know, we appreciate everyone joining us when they can. So, so thank you. Are there any other updates or anything that anyone wants to share?
I don't know if it's really news, but I can tell you that Provender will be on Monday closing for 2 weeks. We're going to take a step back, regroup, and kind of do some in-house thinking on how the best way to position ourselves going forward to deal with the pandemic and the stranglehold that COVID has on restaurants and our hospitality and small business, because we're going to be dealing with this probably for the next at least 4 months of cold weather, rising cases, and it's making day-to-day operations very difficult. So we're going to try to do figure out how the best way to get our product in front of people, you know, by enhancing our websites, refining our to-go practice, coming up with a new reservation system, and kind of tweaking and pivoting in that direction, new menu concepts, and figuring out what our, you know, what our customer, you know, what our advantages are and how best way to get our product out there. And we hope, you know, we're back open on New Year's Eve with, you know, all new sorts of user-friendly digital things moving forward. So we look forward to being able to share that with everybody.
Darren, thank you for that update. You said that you'll be closing for 2 weeks?
Yep, we'll be back open on New Year's Eve. We have, we'll still be moving forward with New Year's Eve and going forward. So a small break, but a working break. You know, a lot of things happening. No,
that's I'm sorry to hear that you have to do this, but I think it's really smart. And you guys are usually great about social media, so we expect to see something up, and as soon as Heart of Ellsworth sees it, we will share it.
Yeah,
to let folks know.
We'll be in front of our customers every day as usual. And the closing it wasn't as hard a decision as I thought it was going to be. There's really no momentum right now going down on Main Street. You know, if there was a lot of action and a lot of stuff going on, we would say, okay, let's just stay open. We'll just keep going. But there's nothing happening. You know, so it was really, you know, it was easier to take a step back, and this seems to be the right time to do it, to stop the bleeding a little bit with the spending and reopen in not a very new direction. We're not going to lessen our brand, but we're just going to come at it at a new angle. That's all.
Darren, last week we had Lainey, the manager of Margaritas, was on here, and they're working on a concept for a delivery, sort of like a group delivery program of sorts, which I know is a huge lift. I had a meeting with her yesterday, and at the time she was going to come on here and do an update, but today she had a safe serve thing that was scheduled at the same time that she didn't realize of the conflict. So
I've seen some emails about the possibility of that. Very difficult, I think, project to execute and ways to go about it. I mean, delivery is a great way, I think, for restaurants to add another stream of revenue. But also, there's so many different elements that go into delivery. I mean, delivery is an extension of your dining room, and how it gets there, how it gets packed, and who brings it there. And safely is so many in and outs of how to get it done. It's very, very complicated. I mean, the best way I would think about going something like that is just to have someone from your own establishment. I'm not too sure what the talk has been with it, but I've worked in some places that, we had our own in-house delivery back in Portland, and it was not easy.
yeah, I think just trying to support Lainey. This is what Heart of Ellsworth does. We were just trying to support Lainey and the concept. It's certainly not anything that Heart of Ellsworth can do on its own, or that any one business can do on its own. So at this point, just trying to explore models from other communities that might work, funding opportunities, and structure, so that maybe the wheel does not need to be reinvented, but certainly trying to do whatever we can do to support. So my only thought is just trying to make that connection if you maybe weren't aware, but it sounds like you're aware. So
yeah, but I've had a little bit of correspondence, and if there's anything I could do to help navigate what if they want to move forward with that, I'd be happy to do so. I wish them luck.
Yeah, again, I don't think that they want to do it on their own. I think that they're looking for a cohesive sort of effort, but yeah, we can talk more about it offline.
Sure.
And in the interest of ending on time, I like to always try to end on time. It's 12:59. So I want to thank you all, and just again, put it out there one more time. If anyone has anything that they want to bring up, feel free to stick it in the chat or just talk. Well, it's 1 o'clock, folks. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys on Main Street. Bye.